99% of us only get to learn about American life after World War II from history books. We'll never know what it was like to live through the Civil Rights Movement or the Cold War or see all those hippies in the 70s. But today it is the rare privilege for us to learn from a man who's seen every one of those things firsthand. A man who's seen Jim Crow laws, the Vietnam War, all the way up through COVID-19. And in this interview, what you're going to see is how rapidly and profoundly the world changed just in his lifetime. And my hope is that it gives you a new perspective on how much the world is going to change in your lifetime and gives you a little greater appreciation for where the world is and where America is today. After this, I present to you my father, my hero, Tillmon Henry Rosemon Jr. Okay, Dad, we're doing this.
All right.
I'm excited. Let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Set the stage for me. Where and when were you born, and what are some of your earliest memories?
Okay. Well, I was born in a little town called Bentonia, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Bentonia, Mississippi is like southwest Mississippi, and it was a small logging town. It probably had about less than 1,000 people, population-wise. But the only industry there was a logging mill. And my dad, who was in World War II, he was born and raised in Grenada, Mississippi. But after he was discharged from the military in the mid-1940s, he went to get a job at this logging mill there in Bentonia, Mississippi.
That's how y'all moved there.
Well, that's how my dad met my mother.
Okay.
Because she was born and raised in this little town called Bentonia, Mississippi.
Okay.
So when my dad, which was your grandfather,
Right.
went down there to work at this logging mill, actually, they took logs and converted them into lumber. And that's where he met my mother.
At the mill or just in the town?
No, just in the town.
Right.
Just in the town while I was there at the mill.
Okay, so that had to be what?
That was
38 or something?
No, that was in the mid-1940s. So they got married while he was there. And in 1948, I was born.
Christmas Day?
Yeah, actually Christmas Day, December 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents and my dad stayed there for about another 3 or 4 years. And then my dad moved us to Illinois.
Right.
In a little town called Lockport in Joliet, which is about 25 or 30 miles south of Chicago. And the reason why he moved there was because we already had some of his sisters and their family.
They already lived there?
That were living there
Okay.
currently. So we moved there, and I was probably maybe 3, 4, and I started in a school called Fairmont, right there in the area, which Fairmont was about maybe a half mile or so from where we live. And it was a integrated school. Everyone that went there, it was musically motivated.
Oh,
So
okay.
everyone pretty much, even at the elementary level, were involved in learning to play some type of instrument.
Okay, so I remember you played trumpet, right?
Trumpet, that's correct.
Right, but I didn't know you started that young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was elementary school, and we would walk to school every day. There was no school bus. And
How far away was it? Do you remember?
About a half mile.
Okay, nothing crazy.
No, nothing crazy. But during the winter time, we always walked to school.
Yeah.
And school barely ever closed.
Right.
For any reason, even when it was snow,
Snow.
and we were small kids, and we walked to school and have fun, even in the snow.
So you don't remember anything from Bentonia, do you?
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't remember anything from Bedonia. But often while we were walking to school, we'd have snowball fights and play and stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. But when I was about 8 years old, uh, my grandfather, which was my dad's father,
Right.
and mother lived in a town called Grenada, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And when my grandfather died, which was your great grandfather,
Yeah, I never.
yeah, my dad decided he was going to move us down to Grenada, Mississippi.
Take care of his mom.
Yeah,
Right.
take care of his mom. They had owned about 100 acres of land and had just a small wood house. And when we initially moved there, it was a big change
I bet.
for me.
So let's set the stage. So that's 1954.
That's
Yeah.
about the mid 1950s.
Mid 1950s,
exactly.
huh?
And Grenada and Mississippi at that time were fully segregated.
Right. And you had never really experienced that
No.
because before you were too young to really have any
Exactly.
memories, right?
Yeah, no, I never experienced segregation at all. And when we first moved there, I attended. It was just a one-room school
Wow.
with one teacher. that-
And to add clarify, it was one room like from K-12, right?
Exactly. And the same teacher taught all of the grades. And
That is great.
we went. I attended that school for maybe 2 or 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and by that time, they had constructed like a middle school,
Yeah.
and the middle school was still segregated.
Right.
It was just for the black kids
Right.
to attend. And it was probably about, I would say, maybe 10 to 15 miles away from where we lived.
Oh.
So we would bus there every day.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to tell me you had to walk. I was going to
No,
say,
no.
I don't know about that one.
No, we had to walk. But we did have to walk from where our house was
To the bus stop, right?
to where the bus was, because where we lived up to where the bus ran, which was on a gravel road.
Right.
But we lived back in a wooded area.
Right. So you had to walk through the woods
we
to
had
get to
walk.
the road.
It was like a dirt road
Right.
to get up to where we had to catch the bus.
Right.
So that was probably about maybe a half mile.
Right.
So we walked there every day to catch the bus, and then travel to the middle school area.
So I want to take a pause there because I think that is such a key distinction that no one in my generation, hopefully no one watching this will ever have to experience again. You went from being in a totally desegregated area, growing up that way, and then one day you just wake up and you're effectively a second-class citizen. How was your parents able to basically explain to you how that even works? Do you remember any of that? Like, how were you able to process, like, I was around white people, I was just a normal person before, and now I'm really relegated in a way,
Well, to tell you the truth, it was never explained.
Really?
Our parents, no, it was never explained. We just had to adjust.
Right.
So once we got there, we realized. I mean, it was like just myself at that time, and I had an older brother.
Right.
Because when my parents got married in Bentonia, my mom already had a a son.
Right.
He was about 2.5 years older than I was.
Yeah, but I never met him, right?
No, you never met
I
him
never met him.
because after he finished high school, he moved to Detroit, Michigan,
Right.
and unfortunately, he was killed there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, before I was even born, right?
Yeah, that was way before you were even born.
Right.
Exactly. But it was a major adjustment.
I'm sure.
But being at that age, I guess we just found ourselves adapting.
Right.
Yeah, and we created friends
Right.
there in the area. But so I continued on and completed the middle school there at what was called Taplet Elementary Middle, and then started in the 50s to attend high school.
Okay. So I want to pause you one more time.
Okay.
So one thing that I really find fascinating about that time period is everyone understands segregation was a thing, right? You were only able to go to the colored areas,
Right.
the black only areas. But how often do you actually interact with white people on a day to day?
Pretty much never.
Pretty much never. Right?
No,
Right.
no, because, like I say, Grenada was fully segregated,
Right.
and it was a small town, and there weren't even any small restaurants. There wasn't even a McDonald's or anything at that time.
Right.
And the area where we lived, it was just totally blacks.
Right. So it was effectively two cities. There was like black Grenada and white Grenada.
Well, it was pretty much white Grenada, and everybody else that lived in the rural area.
Right, and they were just kind of pushed to the side.
Yeah.
And you never really left that little sphere.
Every once in a while, because not in the actual city of Grenada, but up in near the town of Grenada,
Yeah.
there was a small black area,
Ah.
and they had one little, I would call a restaurant.
Right.
Which, that when we got older in age, we'd go there and just kind of hang out.
Right. It was the one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah, no, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it for the blacks.
Right. I understand.
But other than that, there weren't really any other areas or opportunities that the black folks really did any. Every once in a while you go up to the town of Grenada, which was just basically a square
Right.
at that time, and most of the businesses in the square, in fact, all of the businesses in the square were owned by white folks.
Right. We're white only, right?
Yeah, and they were all privately owned little businesses,
Right.
so there weren't any reason for us to go up there.
Right.
So we pretty much stayed in the little community where we were growing up at, and between there and the school that we were bused to, that was pretty much it
Right.
at that particular time.
Okay, let's move on. What was high school like?
The high school was also segregated
Right.
at that time. We attended a black high school that was called Carrie Dotson High School. And Carrie Dotson High School, it was good. We were also bused there, and it was probably not as far as the middle school had been, but I would say it was probably 6 or 7 miles from where we lived.
Right.
But we still had to go from the house where we were living in and walk up to the road to catch the bus.
Right.
To get to the high school. But high school was a fun time. It was small, and all of the kids pretty much knew each other.
Right.
In fact, in my graduating class, we had like about 84 people total, and we've had class reunions over the years,
Yeah.
and graduation that was in 1968.
Wow. What was the last reunion? You do like a 50-year one?
No, we just actually had a 60
It'd be 60 in 2018, right?
2018. We just had a couple of years ago. We had I think a 67
Wow.
year reunion,
That is
uh,
crazy.
and it was great. I
Yeah.
mean, still, you know, a lot of the classmates that I graduated with, many of them have
Passed
passed
away.
away.
Right.
I would say there's probably less than half
Right.
of the class that's still living. But there are probably about 7 or 8 classmates that still live in Grenada, and they try to keep a reunion going every once in a while
Yeah.
and organize, so that's good. Uh, but that was great. I graduated from in fact, the senior year in high school.
Okay.
I think I've told you this before.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. was in Grenada
Wow.
during that year, and he was there to march in regard to integrating
Right.
the
School system,
the
right?
school system there in Grenada.
Okay, I have quite a few MLK questions, right?
Okay.
My first question is, do you remember when you first heard about MLK? And two, how was this? Because one thing I always think about is there wasn't like cable news back then.
Oh no!
Right?
No,
And even if there was news, black people didn't have
No,
TVs and
yeah, I
everything.
mean,
How did that word even get out? And did he seem like a real person? It probably seems like almost a mythical figure.
well, not necessarily,
Okay.
because I mean, by the time I was in high school, I would say, you know, when you went to high school, there were still kids. I mean, I think we had maybe just a radio or something. We
Right,
didn't
the
have
radio.
TV at
Wow.
time. So we got our news by our little radio. But
Right.
when you went, there were kids in high school that lived right there close to the school in town, and some of their parents had probably black and white TVs back then.
Right.
And so we would talk, or they would talk about Martin Luther King, and even our teachers would talk about Martin Luther King, and that's basically how we got our news, because Martin Luther King was a prominent figure back during that time, and he was doing a lot of marching,
Right.
especially in the South. So, but the one day that I'm referring to is when he was had come to Grenada
Right.
to have a protest to integrate the school system there, and some of my classmates in high school and some of the other kids, we heard about the march.
Right. You knew what you had to do.
That was going to be held that day in Grenada. So we left school
Yeah.
and decided we were going to go and march with Dr. King, which we did. And we were marching, they decided to march up in the little town of Grenada.
Yeah.
And sometime into the march, there was a gathering of police officers and state troopers, and they surrounded us, and we were all arrested and put on a school bus and taken down to Parchman, which was probably maybe about 35, 40 miles away. Parchman was where the state prison was
Right.
for Mississippi. And we were all taken off the bus and taken to cells there in the state prison, and where they took all our clothes, completely left us with no clothes at all, and put us in cells and turned up the air conditioning. So that was an ordeal. We stayed there. In fact, I stayed there probably for 2 days. And finally, my dad came and got me out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
some of the other kids, parents came and got them. And finally, probably after about 4 days or so, they released all the other kids that had been locked up. But that was an ordeal. And even though the schools were not integrated during that period of time,
Right.
eventually they were
No, exactly.
integrated there in Grenada and Grenada
And
County.
it's
But that was my ordeal with Martin Luther King, and when you look back and you realize that that's probably one of the experiences that will go with you for the rest of your life, and it's an experience that a lot of people during that time never would have experienced.
right.
And fortunately, even though we were arrested and taken to the state prison, that was never on our records. Never on our records. So it worked out from that respect. So that was basically high school there in Grenada.
Wow.
And after I graduated from high school, that was right at in the late 60s, and that was the time the Vietnam War was going on, and there was a draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was even selected for the draft.
You've never told me that.
Yeah, I had a number in the draft. And
Back in Mississippi still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But along that same time, I had applied to go to school at Alcorn,
Right.
which is one of the HBCU schools there in Mississippi. And I applied and got accepted to go to Alcorn. But I think my draft number was like about 98 or something.
Set the stage for me. I don't understand what that means.
When they had the draft during that time
Okay.
For Vietnam, when you went to selection board
Okay.
and got your exam and all, they assigned you a number
Okay.
that you could be called
All right.
to go into the military.
So if I had a number of 5, does that mean I'm going to go first?
Well, if you were called.
Ah,
whatever
okay.
reason.
So the bigger your number, the less likely you were to have to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way it works. The larger your number.
Okay.
But my number, even at 98 or so, was really a low number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was accepted to Alcorn, and I started, and they never called me. So
But
even
this whole time you thought you might have to go to Vietnam.
yeah, well, I had to, I thought there was a high possibility that
Yeah.
I would have to, go into the military because a lot of many of my classmates
Yeah.
that were graduating at the same time,
They got their number called.
they got called.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, one real close friend of mine, he was called to go into the military, and he was in basic training, and unfortunately, due to some type of situation, he was shot and killed just in basic training.
So he never even made it. Huh?
They never got to go to Vietnam. But there were some classmates of mine that were called into the military and did go to Vietnam.
Tell me, you know, when we learn in U.S. history about Vietnam, because it really is historically one of the bigger failures in modern American history, we're taught it from a very foggy lens. All we really learn about is that a lot of people didn't like it, and that America didn't win. But what I would really love to hear is someone who was drafted, right? And saw all these other people in their life affected by the war. What was sentiment around Vietnam War?
Well, even back then, when young black men were drafted to go into the military, and not all were drafted.
Right.
Some volunteered because there was nothing else to do.
Right.
Actually, if you weren't going to college or didn't get accepted to go to a college, in Grenada at that time, there wasn't anything else.
There was no upward mobility, right?
No,
You had
no.
no. You had
You were
nothing.
going to either leave the state
Right.
and go somewhere else or go to school. But some elected to, go into the military.
Right.
But to answer your question, there was a lot of misunderstanding
Okay.
about Vietnam and why we were even fighting in the war of Vietnam.
I still don't know why.
No, and there's still, you're right, to this day, many of us, don't know why we ever got into the fight with Vietnam.
Right.
I mean, even Dr. Martin Luther King objected
Yeah.
not only to Vietnam, but going into the military.
Right. He was. I mean, he was anti-violent.
Yeah,
Through and through. Right.
Exactly. He was totally anti-violent. But to put it bluntly, why we were fighting in Vietnam, some little Vietnamese country on the other side of the world that hadn't done anything as far as we knew
Right.
to provoke America in any way whatsoever, we don't understand.
Yeah.
And like you say, to this day, many of us don't understand. And, to put it bluntly, I'll say this. Muhammad Ali was very anti-military.
Right.
And that was during the time that he was coming along.
Right.
And Muhammad Ali expressed it in this way. Why were we being sent around the world to fight some little Vietnamese people that, as far as he knew, hadn't done anything in regard to us, especially black folks.
Right.
And, he said, the black people, Vietnamese, never called me a nigger.
Right.
But white folks right here in in our communities are calling those niggas. So, but I'm not gonna prolong
Yeah.
the Vietnam thing. I mean, like you say, it was another war that we got involved in, and why we were there, I'm not sure.
Right.
But we, fought wars since then that are still really kind of hard to explain.
No,
Why we're fighting wars still for whatever reason, Afghanistan and places like that. But
no, I understand.
yeah.
I hear the sentiment, and I appreciate you sharing that. I want to talk a little more about this time period, right? Because you're in college, you're really shaping your worldview, right? So you marched with Martin Luther King. You were obviously very supportive of his point of view, but there were alternative, black voices in the sphere at that time, Malcolm X, Du Bois, like those type of people. Did you ever consider the more Black Panther, more direct, confrontational, violent type, or were you always more of the nonviolent focus?
I mean, we all knew about Malcolm X,
Right.
And other violent type, people. But, me personally and most of the people that I grew up with during that time, we were all pretty much on the nonviolent side
Right.
of things. And I would say even black people in general during that time.
The majority.
Yeah, majority, especially in and around where I was growing up in the segregated area of Grenada. Black folks, for the most part, even though we've had to endure a lot of things, in our spirit, we're pretty much nonviolent.
I agree.
We're pretty much nonviolent. We've had to endure a lot of situations, but overall, we've accepted and endured. And as far as me personally,
Yeah.
no, I pretty much always had a nonviolent type spirit and non-confrontational. But I mean, I will say, there are times that I could be pushed a little too far.
Been tested a couple of times.
Yeah.
No, I think it's only natural, and I think it's so very important that you share that, because I think it means more coming from someone who's really lived it firsthand. To the modern day, racism is still one of the most important factors in American life. And we'll talk more about the modern day, but I think there's such a distinct difference between perceived racism and structural racism. Having it be such a core part of your life that you cannot opt out of by any means, right? You had to go to this school. You had to be here. You could not do these things. And I think that is to be really chained to that reality for so long, and to not choose hatred and to be nonviolent, even, to this day,
Right.
I think is such a powerful message that really no history book can really grasp. And it's something that you've always really shown me. And I think it's really important. But I wanna go a little further into the world of the 70s, the 80s. Do you remember the Cold War?
Not really. Not really. I mean, I know of the Cold War.
Right, but the way we're taught about the Cold War, the reason I ask is we were kind of taught in American history is like the Cold War was like this terrifying time where everybody was just nervous that the world was going to end or we were going to be in World War III tomorrow with Russia and every day was on edge. But I've never really heard you or mom or anyone who was like alive and, you know, thriving during that time having this sense of fear. Do you feel like that was like overblown?
I'm not really sure because the Cold War. I mean, we lived through some times where people were even projecting the end of the world, Armageddon, and situations like that. But
Because of nukes, I'm saying?
I'm not sure exactly why they
Right.
were. I mean, some of it was biblical thinking. You know,
Okay.
just. I mean, I never thought in that respect,
But a lot of people did, is what you're saying.
But there are some people.
Right.
I wouldn't say it was even a lot of people.
Okay.
But some people that I've experienced that with. But regarding the Cold War, I'm not really. I never really experienced or thought much about
That's so interesting.
that situation during that time. I mean, I heard of it, but I mean,
It didn't affect your day-to-day life that much.
no, it didn't.
That is so
It
fascinating.
really didn't. Our day-to-day life was pretty much the same. It was minimum living experiences. And in fact, when we were living in Grenada, it was a small, like I said, wood frame house. And my dad, like many of people that lived in the area, raised our food, had gardens, chickens, hogs, cows that were provided, garden food or raised food. And like I said, we lived out. So, that was our experience during that time. And, it was, after a while, it was accepted as we grew, and we didn't think much about
It
it.
just becomes normal, right? It just becomes regular life.
Everything else that was going on in the rest of the world, and what people were thinking one way or the other, that's just kind of how we lived
Interesting.
during that time.
All right, so you go through college. You're at Alcorn State. You study engineering.
Well, the Alcorn didn't have necessarily an engineering program.
Right.
The closest thing they had to engineering was a degree called technical education.
Okay.
And I was in technical education, which was math-based somewhat, and I took a lot of basic engineering courses.
Right.
Most of those courses were towards the civil engineering side, surveying and property laying out and construction and stuff like that. Which was a good program. I enjoyed it, and I graduated with a degree in construction and technical education.
And what'd you do with it?
Well, to tell you the truth, the second year of my college education. For the summer, there were a group of companies that were interviewing for jobs for the summer.
Okay, like a summer internship type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So I got elected to do a civil engineering intern in Kansas,
Okay.
state of Kansas,
Okay.
of all places. A little town called Anthony, Kansas,
Right.
which is a small town, probably maybe about 30 or 40 miles from Wichita, Kansas.
All right.
Wichita was the big town there in Kansas. And the job entailed doing civil engineering for soil, the soil, U.S. Soil Conservation Service.
Okay.
And while I was there, what we did were we laid out waterways for farmers there in the township.
Mm-hmm.
And these waterways supplied water from rain runoff
Yeah.
to the
To
crops.
the citizens, yeah, for the crops.
To crops.
Oh, the
there.
crops. Okay.
Yeah. So I did that for one summer.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony, Kansas was a small town, probably maybe had a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
And in that town, there was one black family.
Wow.
Yeah, just one black family that I got to know. In fact, I lived in a little rooming house with a white lady.
So it was desegregated, right?
No, it was integrated.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was integrated, and this because this is what, early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somehow there was only this one black family
Wow.
that lived there. And
Did you get to know them?
Yeah, I got to know them very well.
Yeah.
I come to town,
You're like, who's that kid?
young black man. What's he doing?
Yeah.
So I did get to know them very well, and spent some time with them. They were a very nice family, very nice family. They had maybe about 3 kids, a couple of boys and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But a real nice family. So one summer I spent there doing that, and then I went back to Alcorn.
Mm-hmm.
And I was junior. That summer, they wanted me to come back to Anthony, Kansas.
So you did want to go to Anthony?
No, I mean Anthony was nice for the one summer I was there, but I decided I didn't want to go back.
Right. So what'd you do instead?
So the next summer, we had family in Illinois. I had a cousin there, cousin Nathaniel, who worked for the state. He was a civil engineer for the state. So the next summer, I talked with him, and he got me a job working for the state, doing civil engineering. And what we did, we worked on state highways and roads and bridges, doing maintenance, and in some cases we did a new construction.
And this was your senior year, or
That was my junior year.
junior year? Okay.
Yeah. So I did that summer, which was a real good job, and I learned a lot working for the state and working for him. He was one of the lead engineers.
As a black man.
As a black man.
Wow.
For the state of Illinois as a civil engineer. He had gone to school and got his engineering degree from Northwestern University. So I did that summer, and that worked out well. The next summer, which was my senior year, I did the same thing.
Yeah, you went back. I don't blame you.
I went back and did that job again for that summer, which were 2 good summers that I worked and got good engineering experience and made a decent amount of money, which helped me out coming up to my senior year at Alcorn.
So you finish up school, and did you know you wanted to go to Illinois?
Well, what happened was, I pretty much knew I wanted to go to Illinois, but what happened was in my junior year, I had met this young lady in school at Alcorn, And we became pretty serious
Mm-hmm.
for the next 2 years. So the senior year, she was graduating the same year I was. So for whatever reason, you know, we decided to get married.
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah, so and we got married, and right out of graduation
Mm-hmm.
from Alcorn, uh, we got married. And we moved to Illinois. Well, like I say, I pretty much already decided I was going to go back to Illinois
Yep.
after I graduated because there wasn't any
No jobs.
opportunities in Grenada for sure, or any other that I knew about in Mississippi. So right after graduation, we moved to Illinois, and shortly after I got there, I got a job with Illinois Bell Telephone Company,
Right. Mm-hmm.
working with them in their commercial office. I was a commercial representative, probably the first black man that worked in an office
Yeah.
doing commercial representing for Illinois Bell Telephone Company.
It's incredible.
So my job entailed talking to customers for the telephone company and working out plans for them to pay off delinquent accounts.
Mm.
So that was very interesting. Often I talked to them in the office by phone, and if I couldn't get a hold of them by phone, sometimes I had a company car.
Oh yeah.
I had to go out and
You just drive out there.
try to track them down.
You just show up. You owe us some money.
Yeah, try to track them down and work out a payment plan so hopefully they could pay off their account and we wouldn't have to send it to the credit agency
Mm-hmm.
and let them handle it. So that was an interesting job. I had that job, and my wife at the time, she was a school teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and she had gotten a job in the Joliet school system.
There weren't many jobs for women back then, right?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, being a school teacher was one of the more prevalent jobs
Right.
that were available to them. But anyway, she got a job in the school system, and I was working for Illinois Bell Telephone Company, and things were working out fine. In fact, between the two of us, after only about a year there, we were one of the few young people that went out and were able to buy a home.
Yeah. Do you remember? Okay, let's set the stage because this is fascinating to me. So, what year is this approximately?
This is approximately 1972, 73.
72. So, you're what? 24, something like that?
Yeah, maybe 23.
23, 24.
Yeah.
Do you know how much you bought this house for?
I bought that house. I think we paid maybe about $12,000 for that home. And to tell you the truth, it was. It wasn't a new home, but it was a nice little home.
Yeah.
It was a ranch, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and the good thing about it was the people that owned it prior to us, they raised horses.
Oh, okay.
And we had acreage in the back.
Oh,
It
wow.
was fenced off.
Yeah.
Where they had their horses, and they had a barn there.
I'm sure you love that.
So what I did was, not too long after we had bought the property, I cleaned out that barn and renovated it and made it into a workshop.
Yeah.
And in that workshop, I bought one of those, what they call shopsmiths at the time. And a shopsmith was a piece of equipment. It was like a combination of different equipment. It had a table saw,
Okay.
converted to a table saw, like a router, a lathe, a bandsaw. All you could convert it to all those different pieces of equipment.
So basically anything you needed to like build basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had that, and I had other just miscellaneous tools around. And what I did was, me and one of my other classmates I knew from Alcorn that had moved there, we started making little souvenir type things, custom made for sororities
Really?
and fraternities.
That's smart.
Yeah. And we'd go around to these different sorority and fraternity, events,
Yeah.
and conventions, and we set up and we sell various items. In fact, the items that we sold were like custom made, and they were made out of actual hardwood
Yeah.
that symbolized the color of their fraternity.
Oh,
or
that's so
sorority.
cool.
Like, for example, one of the items I had designed and made for like the Omega Psi Phi fraternity was a piece of hardwood called Purple Heart. It was an actual hardwood that came from
Yeah.
some country. We could buy this hardwood from some specialized hardwood store, and then just made that into the Greek symbol
Yeah.
Omega.
Like of there.
Yeah, and then bought a clock, inserted it into the clock, and made it like a desk piece,
Oh wow.
custom desk piece you could put on your desk. And we made things like that, pencil and pen holders into various hardwood colors for different sororities and fraternities. And that worked out real well for a while. In fact, we got so busy that I stopped doing it because I didn't have time with my regular job
Yeah.
to go to these events that were being held. So, so I did that job for 5 years.
Wow.
5 years doing the same job as a customer service representative. And at that point, I didn't see any opportunity that
Couldn't go any
I was
further.
going to go any further
Right.
with Illinois Bell Telephone Company in that position. So I decided to leave, and I went to grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go to grad school.
Northern Illinois, right?
Northern Illinois,
Yeah.
which is about 60 miles west of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good school. So I went there for a couple of years, and I got a graduate degree in industrial management.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I finished that. I came back, and I was hired by AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
And my first job with AT&T was as an industrial engineer.
Yeah.
I did that for maybe a couple of years, and then they assigned me to labor relations. And I worked in labor relations for about a year, and then after that, I got a position as a supervisor
Mm-hmm.
in production assembly, and we actually made the circuit boards
Mm-hmm.
for telephones back then.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actual telephones, rotary telephones.
Yeah, the rotary ones. Yeah.
Yeah, we made the circuit boards for those and assembled the actual telephones. And then after that, production was for the push button phones.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for probably about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, the company that I was working for, AT&T, the location that I was at, started to downsize.
Right.
And as a result of downsizing, even though I had this experience as production manager, production supervisor for a number of years, and had a degree, graduate degree in industrial management, they still didn't have a position for me there.
Hmm.
The only position they claimed that was available to me was going to be a position in the training department in San Francisco, California.
Right. And you
Yeah.
did not want to move to San
I did
Francisco,
not
right?
want to go to San Francisco, California. So I thought about it, and I decided where would I like to go at that point. And I thought about a number of places, and finally I came to think about well, maybe I should try Atlanta.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what year is this, by the way? This is like early 80s?
yes,
Yeah.
in fact, this was probably 1983 or 84.
83, 84? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So what I did was I decided I was going to drive down to Atlanta, not knowing anyone in Atlanta or having any family or anyone here. So I decided to drive down to Atlanta, and I got a room at a extended stay hotel,
mm-hmm.
and stayed there for about three weeks. And during that time, I went out, got to know the city a little bit, and checked the newspapers and ads and things for job possibilities. And I got an interview for about 3 or 4 companies during that period of time. And out of those 3 or 4 companies, I got an offer to work for 3 of those.
It was a different job market back then.
Yeah, 3 of those in that short period of time. And one of the companies was called Vision,
Yeah.
and they produced eye products,
Yeah.
contact lens, mainly contact lens, not eyeglasses, but mostly contact lens. So I decided to accept a supervisory position
Mm-hmm.
for Vision, and that was the week before Labor Day
Mm-hmm.
of 1986.
Wow.
So the weekend of Labor Day of 1986, I packed up all my stuff in a U-Haul truck and drove from Illinois to Atlanta and moved there and started at Vision. The Labor Day was on a Monday. I started there on a Tuesday.
And that was when you
That was-
divorced your first wife.
Yeah, my first wife. We had been divorced. We had gotten a divorce probably about 2 years before
Before you moved. Okay.
before I left
Okay.
AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that didn't work out. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever reason. We won't go into that.
Yeah, yeah. But just setting the stage. So you're what? How old are you at this point? When you moved?
I was probably when I initially moved. I was probably about 37, maybe.
Right. You're 37.
Mm-hmm.
Black man who's become very successful.
Mm-hmm.
You just moved to Atlanta for the first time. You got a new job. I'm setting the stage because I want to kind of push forward to the point where you ultimately get established. You meet my mom. But what I really want to understand is I really want to talk a little bit about when you finally were with my mom and then you decide you're in your mid-40s at this point and you want to have children. What was that like?
Well, when I met your mom, I had been in Atlanta probably about 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years. And we met through another friend
Mm-hmm.
of hers. and I don't know whether it was set up as a blind date or what it was, but
Either way, you met. That's all that
yeah,
matters,
yeah,
right?
we met, and we started dating. That was probably in around 1990,
Yep.
and actually, she was in real estate, doing very well in the real estate business. I was working for supervision, and she had never been married,
Hmm.
and we really didn't talk about actually having children.
Really?
No. In fact, at that point, since she hadn't had any kids and I hadn't had any, I wasn't even thinking about having any.
Huh.
To tell you the truth. But so happened, we got married in 1992.
Hmm.
And things were going well. She was doing well in the real estate business, and uh, we kind of talked about it and decided that, instead of her continuing to work for Remax, she was working with at the time, that we'd attempt to start our own real estate agency,
Yeah.
which we did. We found an old house, actually, and talked to the government officials for DeKalb County, and were able to get a license to convert that old house into a real estate facility, which I did, and I pretty much did all the work myself
Yeah.
to convert that place. So about that time, around 1992 or 3, we got married in 92, so it probably had to be about 93 or
yeah.
so. Your mother got pregnant.
Hmm.
I mean, we hadn't talked about having kids, but
Right.
anyway, she got pregnant with what was your sister,
Hmm.
Tiffany. And unfortunately, Tiffany was stillborn,
Hmm.
which was a difficult time, but about 2 weeks or so before she was supposed to have been delivered, she was determined to be stillborn, but was still actually
Yeah.
delivered stillborn, and we had a burial for her, and
Hmm.
memorial and all of that. That was a difficult time.
I'm sure.
That was a difficult time. We still didn't really talk about kids anymore, after that. But, fortunately, I guess the good Lord had some more for us,
Yeah.
because a couple of years later or so, in like 1994, she got pregnant again.
Hmm.
Got pregnant again. And this time things went well, because in 1995, you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were born healthy and no complications whatsoever. In fact, I was in the delivery room when you were actually, delivered.
I've always wanted to ask you this.
Mhm.
So, Mom always says, you were in the room, so you were like the first person to see me other than like the doctor.
Right.
What, take me back to that moment. What did you feel in that moment?
Oh, it's hard to describe,
Yeah.
because, like I say, I never really thought I was going to have any kids.
And you're what, 48 at this point?
Yeah, I think I was like 46,
Yeah.
46 or 47 or something. 46, I think. But, just the there in the delivery room and seeing you being delivered. Actually, I got to hold you before your mom did.
Yeah, she always talks about that.
And it was one of the greatest feelings of my life. And it was a great blessing, and it's one of those feelings that it's really hard to describe, especially at that age, and not having any kids prior to that.
Hmm.
So it was a true blessing, and I'm happy to say we've been proud of you ever since. And for the first few years, I didn't think your mom was going to let you out of her sight.
Oh, I gotta ask this. This is Mom. I remember one day. I don't even think she remembers this. I think I was like 12, and Mom told me that she used to keep notes about me when I was a kid because she was in like child development for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Is there like a binder somewhere of just notes about when I was like 1 year old?
Well, I'm sure she probably did keep notes. Now,
Yeah.
whether there's a binder or anything or not, I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never seen one.
Okay, all
But
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is one.
I'll have to
Because
ask that.
she was the proudest mom, and like I say, she didn't want to let you out of her sight for a long period of time. And you can, I guess, based on what happened with your sister Tiffany,
You can understand.
prior to that, you can understand that there was some overprotectiveness or over gratitude, or however you might want to explain it, to make sure that you were healthy and nothing happened to you.
I think it worked out.
But yeah, I would say no doubt it worked out. But that was probably, I would say, the one of the most proudest moments of my life was being there and having you when you were delivered into the world.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've really been wanting to ask you this. You've quite literally known me my whole life. What would you say are some of my gifts, things that I'm good at?
I would say one of the major things that I see that you're actually really great at is your concern and love for other people. How you look at the try to see the best in other people, go out of your way and sacrifice to help other people, try to be the best they can be, and accomplish whatever you set out to try to accomplish for yourself. In my mind, there's no doubt that that you will be successful in doing that.
Thank you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
The other question I wanted to make sure I ask you, and I think this is really important, is, I've been so grateful to have you as a father. But, growing up, you've always been older than the rest of, Kenny and my other friends' parents. And I'm just so grateful to have had you. But I want to simply ask you, what's something that you want me to always remember as I go on through life?
Always remember that whatever you in your mind decide to try to accomplish and you feel you want to do, then don't let anything stop you from pursuing that. It's a much different time than when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Through the years, and even though there's still certain roadblocks
Sure.
that you have to
overcome,
be faced with, especially as a black man,
right,
in the world that we live in. But there are, if you keep focused and pursue your dreams, you can accomplish those.
Thank you so much. I want to end on a really simple question. What's one piece of advice you have for the general youth of today? You know, growing up the way you did to what you see in the world now, what's just one piece of advice you could give to any young person watching this?
I would say the thing I see today in my mind, and maybe, sometimes I'm still living in the past with regard to the young people and how they, live in today's society, is many times I don't think the young people show enough respect
Hmm.
for especially the older generation. You know, often they look at our generation, and maybe it's because they never had the experience, what we had to experience. But that, and I think many young people today take things for granted.
Hmm.
They think that things are there, it's just going to be there for them.
Right.
So I would say, be a little bit more mindful that one day you're going to get old too. And even though you may not have to endure what earlier generations had to endure, but there are going to be times when you also are going to look back and say, maybe I should have done some things different. But other than that, I mean, I understand that it's a new generation, it's a new time, and people are just living differently now, and that's the way of the society is set up. So, but other than that, I mean, that's basically what I would say.
Yeah. No, I think it's excellent advice.
Respect the older people, whether you actually agree with them or not. You don't have to agree, but I see too many young people that don't seem to really respect, not even just people in general, but not even their parents.
Right.
So much. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely showing respect, I think the least we can do. I just want to just wrap this up by taking the time to just say thank you so much, Dad. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today and speaking about all of these things. I know a lot of these things are tough. They bring up some really difficult memories and some beautiful and great ones too.
Yeah.
But it really means so much to me that I'll always have this to look back on and this advice to keep. And I just want to say thank you for all the sacrifices you've done for me. You've just been such an incredible father and role model, and I'm just so grateful to have had you in my life.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to say, I thank you for the opportunity to spend this time with you today.
Yeah.
I guess when I look back over the years, I knew you were going to do well and do great things with your life. I never really thought that one day maybe I'd even live long enough to see you grow into the man that you become. And, I'm so proud to be your dad, and I'm sure you're going to go further and do greater things in life. So thank you for allowing me to spend this time with you today.
Thanks, Dad. Love you.
Love you.
If you made it here, I just want to say thank you so much. But most importantly, if you're watching this for the first time and you are my dad, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday. I love you so much. You've always been my hero, my greatest inspiration, and all I've ever wanted to do was make you proud. Thank you so much for raising me, for loving me, and supporting me. I will always be in your debt, and I will always be grateful for you. I love you, Dad. Happy birthday.